So we received a little bit more news recently about the Percy Jackson TV show, in that filming is definitely, almost most likely, depending that nothing else happens, will start on the 1st of June. And the fact that that's happening, we can assume that the show probably won't come out much long after. If anything, it may come out in the summer of 2023. Check out my video where I talk a little bit more about predictions like this. But to do a little bit more of a prediction video focusing specifically on the Lightning Thief, considering there is a lot of Easter eggs that Rick has talked about in a previous blog, I want to know and want to discuss what Easter eggs we might see for the rest of the series in the Lightning Thief season. Now, admittedly, there isn't too much that happens in the Lightning Thief that, other than one thing that I'm sure everyone is already picturing already from the start of this video, there isn't too much that can hint for future things in the series. But I think there's some things that can be introduced in the Lightning Thief season to basically set up things that are going to happen later. And there are just 3 in particular that I want to talk about today. The first one is the most obvious, which is probably the one that everyone is thinking about, which is the fact that Nico and Bianca are the ones in the Lotus Casino, and we may possibly see them if we get the Lotus Casino scene, which I assume we will because we kind of need it for the setup later. But if we see Nico and Bianca, first we could possibly actually see the official actors for these characters. Possibly they may change later, but maybe not. And that could be our introduction and our hint of meeting Nico and Bianca later on, so 2 seasons later really. And the fact that we'll have that is just set up for their characters, the sort of heartbreaking reality of the fact that they've been there this whole time, and even the effects of the Lotus Casino, that if Percy, Annabeth and Grover do see Nico and Bianca in the Lotus Casino, their brains have kind of been a little bit rattled from being in the casino, in that they didn't even know how long they'd been in there. So it's possible that the memories from inside the casino and everything they kind of saw and remembered, maybe they don't remember it to the extent that they do. So when they realise that Nico and Bianca were the ones that they met or remember briefly seeing in the Lotus Casino, after finding out that that's where they were, that could be an interesting thing of just showing the level and the extent that the effect that the Lotus Casino has on a person's brain, even a demigod, someone who's stronger than the normal mortal. So I think it has interesting implications for sort of the terrifying nature of the Lotus Casino. Next up is to do with Talia. Now I'm hoping we do get a few more references in the Lightning Thief to Annabeth's past with Talia and Luke. Now we remember from the book Grover talking about how, he lost Talia. Talia unfortunately did die and was turned into a tree. All this we do know. But obviously at the end of the Sea of Monsters, we know that Talia does come back to life, and it was part of Luke's plan in some way. I just think it'd be interesting to get a few more hints and just a little bit more knowledge about Talia, just a few hints here and there in the Lightning Thief to set up more of what will happen in Sea of Monsters if we get season 2, and then more of Talia when we meet her in person properly in the Titan's Curse. Something about the possibility of Annabeth just talking a little bit about her if Percy and her are able to have their sort of one-on-one moments. And alongside that, just showing the reasoning behind the conflict Talia and Annabeth have when it comes to Luke. He's someone they've been with for a long period of time. So getting more mentions of that original trio and their dynamic, I think it'd be interesting to have set up in the Lightning Thief. Especially considering the Lightning Thief, the ending when we find out about Luke, Annabeth is someone who is angry at Luke, but later on she kind of changes her tune a little bit and is more hoping he'll change and become better again. I think if we get more hints of sort of her connection to Luke and her connection to Talia and that trio, I think it would just develop their characters a little bit more, as well as being an Easter egg in general of Talia's return and the conflict that will cause for Annabeth, Luke, and a little bit of Percy as well. And finally, one that I kind of don't think will happen, but I think may happen at some point in the series, even if it doesn't happen in the Lightning Thief. And that is due to the fact that obviously they end up in Las Vegas, which I don't know how states work. They don't fully go to California, do they? They're near California. they're in that proximity. So, and I know California is huge. I don't actually know how huge. Again, American states are confusing for this Brit, but I think it's possible to have in the background, as literally just an extra in the background, someone wearing a purple shirt with a little bit of that gold sort of, what are they called? The gold crown leaf things that the Romans have. Something like that just in the background. Like you can only just make it out if you're really looking for it. And that would literally be a very, very obscure, barely noticeable unless you're like me and really focusing on things like that to kind of pick out any possible Easter eggs. To have as an Easter egg of the fact that Camp Jupiter is in the California proximity. And due to the fact that they are going to be in Las Vegas and near the California area, it's possible that we could see something like that. Not necessarily about this whole Jason. Like I know some people mentioned about maybe seeing Jason at some point during the series. I don't necessarily agree. If they manage to get Heroes of Olympus, only show him as maybe at the very end of The Last Olympian as like a hint for what's to come. But don't show Jason. It's just like a random, generic, purple shirt Roman character that is just in the background, unfocused. So it's not at the forefront, it's just there. But kind of out of sight, sort of. Because I just think it'd be interesting. It would just add more to the world as a whole. And yeah, those are the 3 things that I would like to see as Easter eggs, or at least things I think we could possibly see. Admittedly, the only one I think is probably possible to happen is the Nico and Bianca thing. The other 2 are just more things I would personally like to see to have a little bit more build-up of the world and also character dynamics. That could be considered Easter eggs and development aspects for later seasons. But what do you think? What sort of Easter egg or setup would you like to see in The Lightning Thief that could tie into something that happens down the line in just the Percy Jackson and the Olympians? I know the Camp Jupiter one would be more for Heroes of Olympus, but it'd be fun, even if we don't get Heroes of Olympus, I think it'd be fun to just have that there anyway, for just the hint, even if we don't get Heroes of Olympus. So yeah, let me know what sort of hints and Easter eggs you would like to see in the comment section down below. And also let me know how excited you are for this Percy Jackson TV show, because oh my god, I'm so hyped. But yeah, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. Check out Echoes of the Past, which is now available to buy, which is my first short story for the Into the Wild series. That is going to be linked in the description box. Check me out on Patreon as well. Let your friends know about this channel. Drop a comment, a thumbs up, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.